Welcome to POUSE Around the House. Today I'm going to show you how I cover a corner edge like that where two different bits of timber or plasterboard meet. I'm going to do this using this pine angle or moulding. I'll show you where you can purchase this moulding and the range of different prices according to where you get it. I'll show you how to measure and cut this down to size. I'll show you a variety of methods to fix this into place. And finally, we'll take a look at the result and you can decide whether you like it or not. So the first thing to consider is where you buy this from. Now I know that in the large stores, certainly in the UK, like B&Q or Wickes, this isn't that cheap. So for a 2.4 meter length of this, and I think this one is either 14 or 15 mil wide, this in B&Q is about £5.40. Wickes might actually be more expensive. Now, if you go to the timber merchants, sometimes this is a little bit cheaper, but it's still a bit on the pricey side. Now, I actually got this from Stairbox while purchasing a section of my staircase for downstairs. I was doing the spindles and the handrails, and while I was doing it, I thought I'd order this. Now, including VAT, these were £1.83 for exactly the same length of timber. Now, that said, there is, with Stairbox, a £20 delivery charge. Now, this might seem expensive, but if you are doing a staircase and you're looking to get some extra trim for around the edge or just in case, that's the time to get it, because even with the £20 delivery, personally I found this is way cheaper. You only need a few lengths of this to get your money back. So next thing to do may seem obvious, but you just need to get yourself a measuring tape and just measure the length all the way to the top of the section of moulding that you need. If you've got angles that you need to measure like this, I just use a bevel. And to use this, just loosen the screw like that. We'll take this out. I'm going to hold that up to the wall like that, so that's flat there. Then if we put that on the sloping surface, I'm now just going to tighten that up. On the other side, you can't see that. And once that's tight into place, we've now got our angle. So if we just turn that around, and the reason for that is you want this to fit over your flat edge there, so you can slide that up and down. Hold that bevel up to your piece of timber like that with the angle. Draw yourself a pencil line like that. We can now cut that down to size. Now obviously when you're measuring, don't forget to measure from the same point on both sides. So from there to there. Don't make the mistake of measuring from there and to there. Otherwise, when you draw your line, you'll find that your piece of timber is too short. Now personally, for me, I just use a coping saw because this stuff is very easy to cut through. It's also very brittle. If you try doing it on a chop saw, you'll probably just get splinters and it may well just split the timber. You can have a go if you like. You could just use a normal hand saw as well, possibly. Different saws, but this is what I got available. And it's pretty easy to use this. And you just want to sort of put it on an edge like that, that's overhanging. I mean, sometimes it's handy to have like a square edge so you can sit it like that. But if you hold it like this, so if I just do a gentle line forward like that, and that sort of scores a line like this. I just hold that down now at an angle like that. And then at the end, by here, just go very gently so that you don't split that timber. Just let the saw do the work. You can even see on that bit there, you get a tiny little splinter like that. We can just sand that off if we need to. So there we are, there's your cut. One other important thing to note is making sure you cut on the right side, because I'm going to show you, this is the bit I just cut, and watch. When I put it on there, I've actually cut the side that I wanted square for the bottom. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem on your first cut, because what you could do is turn that round, and that will now be perfect for the top bit up here. And if you look here, that fits perfectly at the top there like that, but you can see the importance of putting the angled cut on the right side of your timber moulding. So the next thing to consider is how do we actually fix it into place? Well, if you've got a good thickness of timber, which I have on a staircase here, then we can mechanically fix it. When I say mechanically fix, I just mean screws or nails. Now in this situation, you're not going to use screws because this stuff is too brittle and it would look ugly. This is a finishing piece to make it look nice, and screws would obviously need fill-in of some sort. So first of all, you can just get like a bag of nails or tacks like that. something along the lines of this here. All we do with that is use a hammer, obviously, and tap this into place. Now, the only downside to this is when you're using a hammer and you get to the end, there's obviously potential to dent this or give it a knock and possibly to split the timber. Now, the one way to get around that is you could use a very small, I've done it before with the HSS drill bits, and then you create a pilot hole then for your nail or your tack, which will stop the timber splitting. So next possible method is to use a grab adhesive. Now, grab adhesive is excellent. I use it all the time on MDF skirting boards or architraves. It means you've got no fixing marks on the front, which is great. The only downside to it is it usually leaves some sort of thickness of the product behind. Now, that's fine on skirting board and architrave because you can use like a decorator's cork to fill that small gap. But again, if you're on a finishing trim like this, on a moulding, I mean, if you're painting it, not such an issue because again, you can use cork, fill the gaps, but really you don't want a gap. So whilst you can use this, just trim the top off, use it just like a sealant or a decorator's cork in a gun. Again, I'm not actually going to use this today. So today, I'm actually going a bit more advanced on the DIY. You could argue it's not really DIY. This is more of a trade tool really, but I've borrowed this from my brother Big POUSE, and this is the Hikoki brad nailer, not the nail gun that you've seen me review in a previous video. We're using that on the roof, and that's for the larger nails. Now with this brad nailer, there's different size brads you can put inside. Today we're just using these Makita 18 gauge brads, and these particular ones are 20 millimeters long. You get these in a range of sizes, and I've used these to fix my spindles into place on my staircase as well. It does an excellent job, but obviously these guns are quite expensive, which is why I showed you the other methods first. And there's the brads. You just slot them into place on the groove for the size of the brads you got. Load that up like that, and that's ready to go once we turn it on. Then with my pine moulding cut to size, one I made earlier, for those of you old enough to understand that reference, I'm just going to place this up like that into place, and we're just going to use the brad nailer and pop a few brads up into that solid timber there. So this one, I just push the power button there, hold it down. You can see the green light's on, that's now ready to go. There we go. That's more or less held itself in position now, and you can see there's barely any mark at all on that. There is a slight dip, which you may want to fill. Obviously, if you're staining it, you don't generally see that anyway, and it's part and parcel of having an exposed timber finish. And as you can see where these things fall down a bit is obviously one this size, you can't quite get up. There are different guns you can get into angles, so I'm gonna have to pop one through the outside face. And this isn't an issue for me because I'm actually gonna be going over this with a white satin after I've undercoated it, and I can pop a little bit of filler in if I need, so no issue, but something to consider. So there we go, you can see that's all the moulding now, nicely fixed into place. You can see those very small sort of nail holes. So you can make your own decision on whether you would be happy with those on display or not. Like I said, if you're doing paint, then it's no big deal. But you can see that's just a really nice, quick way, in my view, to cover a corner and just gives a really nice, simple, clean finish. If you're cutting a bit of moulding for a section like this, by here, it's actually not as deep there. So I actually had to trim this down to size. And I'll show you how I did that neatly now. So you've got your piece of angle there. I'm just using this short piece because I'm willing to sacrifice it. I found this piece of timber, which is perfect. I sat it there against the angle as a guide. Probably best I rest this on a piece of timber as I don't want to damage my stairs. You just score down there like that. Just run through it a few times with your knife. There we go, and you'll find that that is now perfectly cut down to depth. So using a knife is a much quicker way to cut that lengthways, just going along the grain like that. If you get a little stringy piece like that, obviously just peel it off quickly like that and just sand it down a touch. So I'm sure tradesmen or carpenters or experienced DIYers have got other or possibly better ways of doing this kind of thing. If you have, please let me know in the comment section below. But hopefully you found that useful, and you can see it's just a really quick, simple way to clean up some rough joints if you've got rough joints without making too much fuss. If you're interested in any of the tools that I use in the video, I'll put links to those in the description section below. If you found the video useful, then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon for regular notifications. I've been POUSE around the house. Ta-ta, farewell.